and he's got 2 points, 2 attacks. And really the Limerick management will be wondering straight away, have we robbed Peter to play Paul, because he would have been marked by Mark Foley, remember. So it's a gamble which so far has not come off, but it's only the first 3 minutes. Joe Quaid pucking out towards Mike Houlihan, being challenged there by Mick Daly. In comes Kieran Carey, trying to provide a bit of steadiness now towards Damien Quigley. Races away from his man, who's Fergal Ryan. Back there is Pat Ryan. Good delivery through the centre. Dave Clark coming across diagonally to take it very confidently from Kieran Morrison. Needing a bit of assistance. 3 players from Cork around him. One of them is Shawnee Farrell. Kieran Carey trying to get in a challenge on Farrell. Going for the score himself, and that's a wonderful start by the Leesiders. Shawnee Farrell. First taste of senior championship action. First shot on the target and first point as well. And point number 3 for Cork. It's been all Cork so far. Well, there is a very, very slight breeze favouring Limerick in the first half, but because of the incessant rain this morning, it really is hardly worth considering. Mark Foley's up there. This time it comes back towards Shane O'Neill. They need a score, and O'Neill has tapped it over the bar. Good point by Shane O'Neill, the man from the Piershigs, where Limerick had a training spell this morning, has given them their first point of the afternoon. The loose ball coming out to him, that was enough, and the midfielder slots it between the posts. Well, Limerick will be mighty delighted to get that first point over Ger Cunningham's crossbar. Fergal McCormack is beaten for this one by Kieran Carey, swept down through the middle of the field towards Damien Quigley again. It's Fergal Ryan alongside him. The hand pass from Mark Landers as far as Brian Corcoran. A huge one from Corcoran up towards Alan Brown. Dean is there as well. McDonough's back there, and Pa Carey trying to mind the house there. Pa Carey in his second coming, as it were, in the Limerick colours. Remember, Carey was very much the full-back between 1987 and 1992. Made 10 championship appearances in that particular time, but this is his first match for Limerick in the championship since the 1992 final, and that of course against Cork. Joe Quaid from Fiohana, a big one down into the corner towards Foley, inside towards Quigley. A very lively start to this match, plenty of goalmouth action, and that's gone out of the sideline on a sideline ball for Limerick. TJ Ryan, the man nearest to it. Mick Daly having a very important task this afternoon against Mike Houlihan. Referee says just hold on a little while, because Damien Quigley seems to be doing some running repairs. Quigley, who'll ever be remembered, of course, for his marvellous 2 goals and 3 points against Offaly in 1994 in that final, and of course in the end it still wasn't quite enough. Missed last year, today back for his 13th championship match. It's going to be a sideline ball which will be taken by Mike Houlihan, the experienced Kilmallock player. Brilliant connection, but he hasn't quite got the range. The distance okay, but not the direction. So the first wide of the match for Limerick. Ger Cunningham. Ger in his 18th championship season. Up as far as Fergal McCormack. Away he goes from his centre half-forward position, and that's gone to the left. It was a good chance. First wide for Cork, but the attack simplicity itself from a long puck out from Ger Cunningham to the very direct centre-forward McCormack, who incidentally is a nephew of the former Kerry footballing great Mick O'Connell. Mark Landers and Mike Galligan contesting this one. It breaks out as far as Pat Ryan, midfielder for Cork, challenged by Damien Quigley of Limerick. Referee says there was a chop, and it's going to be a free out for Cork. Early stages of this match. A real wonderful excitement here in Limerick. The crowd now filling up every corner of the Gaelic grounds, and a crowd, as we say, of about 35,000. Brian Corcoran lashing this one in from the free towards Shawnee Farrell, breaks back out here towards Kieran Carey. So often a solid and dependable figure at centre half back can be so inspiring. Mark Foley hoping to be that inspiration this afternoon against Brian Corcoran. Had it on his left, turned back in, and the referee says there was a foul in any case. He was dragged back, and it's a free in for Limerick. But just for a moment he was turning to go one way and then went back and straight into Brian Corcoran. Down by the sideline with news, we've got Kieran Mullooly.
No doubt about the busiest line this afternoon. It has to be the Limerick sideline, because Derry Donovan, the trainer, has been all over the pitch. He's been in a moment ago telling Damien Quigley, the Limerick corner forward, to stay back, stay on the end line. That's the direct instructions from Eamon Cregan.
Well, that's been one of Eamon's favourite tunes down the years. That has gone to the right. But that's a belief that Eamon has, that the two corner forwards should always hug the end line, and that way create as much space as possible for the likes of Gary Kirby here to exploit. Ger Cunningham pucking out. And Cunningham's puck out is batted back there once again by Shane O'Neill. Ryan for Cork towards Kieran Morrison, has switched across here. Lashing it in, and Dean was very nearly in at the end of it. And Limerick very nearly conceding the first goal of this match after just over 8.5 minutes. Joe Dean is one of those players you feel has a goal in him. But this came right across the face of goal, and that's how close he came to making a connection. Well, Steve McDonagh had his problems, of course, in the league semi-final against Waterford, hoping to have a better time against Dean this afternoon. Mark Landers, right half back, going back to try and take that one for Cork, taking it up onto his stick. The challenge coming in from Barry Foley. Barry gets the ball back, and Barry Foley's put it over the bar. Well, the persistence of Barry Foley paying off that time, switching across from right to left, and in the end it was a passing error that came out to him, and now the minimum between these teams. They're a case in point when Cork might have cleared their lines, but Limerick so sharp, given a half chance. Mike Galligan getting it back to TJ Ryan, expecting the challenge coming from Daly. It's Ryan who once again sets sail. Shorting the grip on the stick, inside it goes towards Gary Kirby, but Gary Kirby couldn't quite get a connection on it. And John Brown is keeping a very vigilant eye on this man this afternoon. John Brown, of course, and Alan Brown are brothers. Jack Foley, Mark Foley, brothers in the Limerick colours. Barry Foley, part of the same clan. The puck out through the middle, batted back by Mike Houlihan, picked up by Pav Ryan, does a lot of very good work in midfield, picks up a lot of loose ball. And that seemed to go off Joe Dean, and it'll be Limerick sideline ball. Joe Dean, who's busy with examinations at UCC, and back into those exams again this week. Mike Galligan, of course, number 12 here, born in Fairhill in Cork, up against Mark Landers. It'll be Dave Clark from the Kilmallock club to take this sideline ball. A very good connection by Dave. Nicely down there to Mark Foley, and he was dragged. And the referee says free into Limerick, and here's a chance of the equaliser. Well, Mark Foley has experience, as you heard before the start of this match, of playing in the forwards, played there in the league last year. It's a bit of a gamble to try and cut down the effectiveness of Brian Corcoran, who was such a star, of course, in the league final against Waterford. So after an uncertain start, Limerick have the chance here through Mike Galligan's free to draw level. It's well positioned, and it's right between the posts, and they're level. Mike Galligan's first point from that free, brilliantly taken, and it's 3 points apiece. Ger Cunningham waiting. This vastly experienced goalkeeper, again going down the centre towards McCormack, and Kieran Carey gets out again to it. Mick Daly picking up the loose ball towards Houlihan, runs on towards McCormack, attracting a couple of Limerick players to him, however. One of them is Kieran Carey, and the captain hand-passing it back to Steve McDonagh, the assured number 2. Down towards Barry Foley, beaten for it by Diarmuid O'Sullivan, but his pass is picked up by Mark Foley, struggling to get it up. Brian Corcoran in there to challenge, and the Limerick man stumbles out over the sideline with the ball, and he doesn't like the decision or what happened afterwards. And the referee is in very quickly. Diarmuid O'Sullivan, the cornerback, ready to take the sideline for Cork. Willie Barrett over there is the man who's operating on that sideline. O'Sullivan will take this. Eamon Cregan up off his feet once again, up on his feet once again. O'Sullivan driving it down. Kieran Carey trying to bat it away. Shawnee McGrath getting a connection to it. They chase after it. Shawnee Farrell beaten by the very tidy Declan Nash. Shane O'Neill, good challenge by Farrell, comes back here towards Fergal McCormack. Alan Brown and Joe Dean in there to contest for Cork. Pa Carey hooking it out splendidly, but only as far as Mick Daly. Daly coming through the centre. That's a block there by McDonough, and the ball has gone out over the end line, and it's gone wide. Just for a moment I thought there might have been a connection there by McDonough. I think he did actually get a little touch on it, but the umpire was watching its flight path. And the player down looking the worse for wear is Mick Daly. Daly from Cove, playing in his second championship match, came on as a sub last year against Clare. Well, the day, I can tell you, continues to be fine and dry following the rain we had this morning. And at that stage we were expecting a bit of a deluge. Sean O'Leary there, one of the selectors, Ted Owens, who is the team trainer, of course Jimmy Barry Murphy, who is the coach, formerly known as Sean O'Leary, I suppose, but now everybody knows him as Sean. And Sean has joined the selection committee this year along with Johnny Crowley. For Limerick, of course, the backroom team, Eamon Cregan, Canon Willie Fitzmaurice and Dave Punch, along with Derry Donovan, the trainer. All of them involved in 1980 when Cork was defeated in the Munster final down in Thurles. And that time it's Mike Houlihan who holds back Brian Corcoran. Free to Cork. And Brian Corcoran to take this one himself. The hurler come footballer. Today playing his 12th championship hurling match. It's a huge one towards Alan Brown. Pa Carey watching it as well. Just got it out as far as Shawnee McGrath, and inside the right-hand post and over the bar. 3 points now for Shawnee McGrath. And there isn't even 15 minutes gone. Well, indications that Jack Foley really has to stick very, very tightly to McGrath. Joe Quaid. They had a wonderful debut against Cork back in 1994. That's a great catch by Brian Corcoran, getting away from Mark Foley, who fouls him. And Brian, I think, not too pleased, just adjusting the helmet, young and old here, to enjoy this Guinness Munster hurling clash. First round championship tie, placed against Clare, the All-Ireland champions, at stake in Thurles, we think, in a few weeks' time. Up towards Alan Brown, that one's gone. Pa Carey trying to get it out for Limerick. Back there is Kieran Carey, his younger brother. The hand pass to Declan Nash, blocked down by Alan Brown. Shawnee Farrell there as well, and Nash did really well. Called on a bit of experience there against two Cork players. It's going to be a sideline ball, which is taken quickly to Shawnee McGrath. And that's gone in, and it's gone over the bar. So far, he can do nothing wrong. The young player from Glen Rovers enjoying a wonderful afternoon so far. But now you begin to wonder, when are Limerick about to say enough is enough and changes have got to be made? That's McGrath, and that's another one. Number 9, Jack Foley, continuing to mark him, but he's an elusive character, going everywhere and anywhere. This is Sean O'Halpine, pursued by TJ Ryan. Ryan doing well, just holding it up. Mike Houlihan trying to come in. Pat Ryan trying to pick it up, setting away on the stick up towards Joe Dean. Been given a bit of room there by Steve McDonough. That could be ominous. In it goes, and that one has landed down there in the square, and the referee says no, 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 free out for Limerick. Alan Brown was in there chasing after it with Joe Quaid, and Joe just coming off second best or so, it seems. Joe, who replaced his cousin Tommy as Limerick custodian just about 4 years ago. This is what happened. Joe Dean playing it right in there. Alan Brown, was he inside before? Well, he was chasing it after it, I think. He connected with Joe Quaid, and the referee was blowing his whistle. Dave Clark has now switched across with Jack Foley. Dave Clark is now marking the dangerous Shawnee McGrath. But Cork have already managed to get 4 points out of him. And Limerick will wonder perhaps later on, if there's only a point in this match and it goes against them, whether the switch was made late. That's a foul there by Pat Ryan, and it's a foul on Shane O'Neill of Limerick. A Limerick mentor, a Cork mentor, Plenty of advice, plenty of encouragement. Mike Galligan, 65 metres out. A light breeze behind him. In low towards Gary Kirby. Ever capable of getting a vital goal for Limerick. Mark Foley, stalemate situation, broken up by Sean O'Halpine. Out to Pat Ryan. Ryan swinging it towards Shawnee McGrath. Dave Clark, well aware of the danger he possesses at this stage. Across to Kieran Morrison's wing. Challenged by Jack Foley. Dean. It's picked up by Kieran Carey. Pat Ryan having it once again. He has support. Good burst forward by Ryan. It's a huge one and it's going away to the left. Kept in play. And Declan Nash comes away with it. It had to be vigilant. Well, everybody stood still that time, expecting the ball had gone wide and there would be a puck out. Jack Foley down towards his namesake Barry. Being watched over there by Diarmuid O'Sullivan. It comes back to Mark Foley. And Foley has struck it beautifully. That's a great point by Mark Foley. Well, he might be pleased, this young little lad here. And the more experienced watchers of this game just behind it, students of sport everywhere, I think, will admire that wonderful score. McCormack and Carey again. McCormack having it here. Beaten for it by Shane O'Neill. O'Neill one-handed down towards Mark Foley. The hand pass outside coming in. There's a little shot down there by Mark Landers. It's a free to Limerick, and some more news from the sideline from Kieran.
The Limerick manager is slightly concerned at the moment about Declan Nash, his cornerback. Declan has picked up a shoulder injury. They're hoping he'll play it off, but at the moment some concern on the Limerick bench.
Okay, so we look at Kieran, or rather we look at Declan Nash as this goes on with that shoulder injury. Meanwhile, Galligan to level it again, brilliantly struck. And the man up on the scoreboard has the 5 out already. It's the second time they've been level. Mike Galligan's second point, and it is Limerick 5 points, Cork 5 points. Just about 15 minutes remaining in the first half. Declan Nash here, blocked down by Morrison, and here comes Kieran Carey, always aware that somebody on that line may need assistance. Down towards Gary Kirby, over his head on towards Barry Foley, and again Limerick come through here, and it's Derek Kirby who can't get a connection on it, and Ger Cunningham makes the save, and there Limerick had a real goal chance. It just needed a connection like Dean a little while ago for Cork. So a goal chance apiece for both teams, but not availed of so far. Quigley hitting this one in, Ger Cunningham rising up for it, taking it well. Trifters was coming down by Gary Kirby, and a free out for Cork. And the frustration of the day, I suppose, evident in that face there. Should have been, he feels. 5 points apiece. Wonderful contest. Towards Kieran Morrison this time, trying to take it away. McCormack, still challenged by Mike Houlihan, runs into Shane O'Neill, forward by Mick Daly, towards Joe Dean, breaks away again. Jack Foley settling down better at right half back. That's come across here towards the left half forward, who's Mike Galligan. Galligan into the two-man inside forward line, and Barry Foley's nearly through here. Foley, and he's got it! A goal for Limerick! Barry Foley! In the 22nd minute, Limerick left just two inside, Gary Kirby and Barry Foley, and Foley has now got a goal and a point as Cork had a chance to clear but failed to do so, and Foley beat Ger Cunningham to it and into the empty net. The break that Limerick has looked for moments after they missed a goal chance. What excitement, 1-5 to 5 points. Kieran Carey for Limerick. Two sides have given us wonderful matches in the past, and I mean in the recent past. And it's Mark Foley here against Brian Corcoran. He's got plenty of ball, it has to be said, as a centre half forward. That breaks out here towards Sean O'Halpine. The challenge again by TJ Ryan. O'Halpine looking to try and get that ball away. Driving it forward about 50 metres. Still the ground a little bit slippery following, of course, the morning rain. Kieran Carey here, overstretching that time. Joe Dean almost hand passing to himself. Comes back, however, and the referee says it's got to be a free to Limerick. Jimmy Barry Murphy making his way back towards the dugout there. Well, he'll be most unhappy with the concession of that goal midway through this first half. Mike Galligan to take the free, right in the middle of the field. It's a huge one from Galligan, if it's got the direction, and it certainly has that. It's a great recovery by Limerick. 3 out of 4 frees converted by Mike Galligan, and Limerick lead by 4 points. And some more news from Kieran.
Mixed emotions during the space of 2 minutes for Eamon Cregan. He was absolutely furious. His side didn't get a penalty. I couldn't repeat the word he used. A moment later, justice has been done, he said.
Ball played one-handed forward by Shawny McGrath. This is Kieran Carey, steady as you like at centre half back, towards Gary Kirby. John Brown goes out for it. Brown and Diarmuid O'Sullivan hoping to settle down a bit more in that Cork full back line. This is Gary Kirby, that's another half chance. Diarmuid O'Sullivan up there climbing for that one and getting it away despite the attentions of Barry Foley. Mick Daly up as far as Kieran Morrison. Morrison trying to set Cork on their way once again. So it's a case of Cork starting well, McGrath scoring splendidly, and then the switch of Dave Clark on Shawny McGrath, and in the last few minutes Limerick have taken a firm command. So plenty of interesting facts from venues elsewhere this afternoon on this big championship Sunday. The free taken by Joe Quaid, blocked by Brian Corcoran, having to go after it himself. He's got Mick Daly ahead of him, runs into the shoulder from Mike Houlihan. Still Brian Corcoran, 3 men alongside him. This is Jack Foley. Foley challenged by Mick Daly. He really has settled down much better in the last 10 minutes. Limerick's number 9, the right half back. That's Gary Kirby, and that's another score for Limerick. And Gary Kirby's got his first. Delighted Limerick fans. And this little lady here will remember her day if they can go on to take it. Well, we've noticed that Shawnee Farrell, by the way, has been switched to top of the left for Cork, and Declan Nash has followed him across there. It's 1-7 for Limerick, 5 points for Cork. Kieran Morrison breaking it down to the waiting Pat Ryan. Ryan steadies himself, hitting it towards the left. Alan Brown in after it, and he can't get a connection on it. And Pa Carey was being at his most vigilant. That's 4 wides now for Cork. That last one hit in by Pat Ryan. Made a real name for himself last year in the local county championship, playing with SARS, and of course also one of the stars of the under-21 success, Bertie Og Murphy's team. Great catch by Shane O'Neill, wonderfully taken, left-handed. The pass outside to Galligan, dropping it in towards Gary Kirby. John Brown goes out first time, had to get that first touch on it, just to get it away from the Limerick number 14. A block on him, and a very effective block, and a block down the second time by Mike Galligan. Here it's picked up by Pat Ryan. He stepped down, but the ball didn't. Up towards Joe Dean. It was Steve McDonough who was having a go at that one. McDonough again, needing the assistance of Kieran Carey. About 8 minutes to go to half-time. Cork pressing, Limerick leading. Alan Brown right in the corner, Pa Carey alongside him. A good block by Pa Carey, but he's got it again, Alan Brown. He's held back, and it's going to be a free from the 20-metre line. The coaches, the mentors, the fans, everybody playing their full part. I think that was Eamon Cregan having a word with Mike Galligan, having a bit of a go at him to say, get more into this game. And you can be certain that Jimmy Barry Murphy will hope that his defence can settle down a little bit more. And once again, if they get that ball, you feel, to Shawny McGrath, they've got a man who can get scores. Pa Carey's injured, and it's ex-Middleton hurler in Cork, Dr. Dave Boylan, who's attending to him. A facial injury. Eamon Cregan just checking on it as well. We had the possibility, of course, that if Pa Carey didn't get selected, the man who was in possession during the league was called Alan Brown from Claghon. We could have had Alan Brown from Claghon against Alan Brown from Blackrock. This is Cork's first scoreable free. It's Joe Dean the taker, and Joe Dean has put it over just inside the left-hand post. His first point. So once again, the lead down to just 4 points, a goal and a point between them. And some more news down on the sideline now from our reporter Kieran Mullooly.
You saw for yourself, Ger, the direction to Mike Galligan, get more into the game, but one direction to Shane O'Neill. Eamon Cregan wants the Limerick midfielder to go much more forward.
Okay, he's marking Pat Ryan. It's McDaly against Houlihan as we anticipated, and here they are now. Daly picking it up, challenged by Houlihan. Comes back here to TJ Ryan. TJ Ryan yet to score in this match. He's been doing a fair bit of foraging. This is chance, blocked down by Daly. Comes in inside, and the two men in the green helmets contest for it, and it's Gary Foley, or Gary Kirby rather, with a very wayward finish. Well, he lashed at it, did the right thing, but just didn't make the kind of contact he hoped for. 4 wides for Limerick. This the latest by Gary Kirby. Again, Kieran Carey rises up from the puck out, assisted by Mike Houlihan. They're playing very formidably in the centre there, blocking the ball down. The midfielders are anticipating, and they're trying to get a decent service into the forwards. This is Mike Galligan, having been spoken to by his manager to get into this match. Here's Ger Cunningham, about to be challenged, but beats the attempted block. Dave Clark coming from behind, breaking it down, but only as far as Pat Ryan, the midfielder for Cork. This is Declan Nash, now operating at right cornerback, challenged by Morrison, getting it down towards TJ Ryan. Alongside him is Sean O'Halpine. O'Sullivan rising up for this one. It breaks down between Sullivan and Barry Foley. Comes to Mark Landers. Landers rated one of the finds of the year for Cork. Up towards Alan Brown. Breaks away once again to Declan Nash. He really is such a wonderfully effective performer. O'Halpine for Cork, and there was a chop, and the referee was right alongside that there, indicting Mike Houlihan. Shawnee Farrell is now full forward for Cork, and it is Alan Brown who's top of the left. Houlihan meanwhile continuing to operate in midfield, having conceded this free. This can put just a goal between the teams. 5 minutes to half-time. Pat Ryan the taker. 65 metres out. It's lobbed in there, and the defence doing well initially, but not the second time, and it's Alan Brown who's got it. Alan Brown with the game's second goal. Shawnee Farrell celebrating with the rest, but that was an occasion you feel when the backs might have cleared. They seem to have got it under control, but Alan Brown has always got a goal in him, and he did with 5 minutes to go to half-time, and a point between the teams. It really is a wonderfully spirited, skillful and enjoyable contest. Here comes McGrath again. Anticipate the challenge coming in, and it does from Dave Clark. Good play by Dave Clark. That's Shane O'Neill down towards Damien Quigley. Quigley looking for some support. 2 Corkmen alongside him, and the referee says, I'm going to throw that ball up to end the stalemate. Well, Jimmy Barry Murphy will be very pleased with his man in there near the full forward position, Alan Brown. The defence, you feel, should have got it away, but Brown had it and belted it in. The master of the kicked goal. Not too many people like it, I know, but it's part of the scene and perfectly legitimate. And that is Damien Quigley got out over the sideline, challenged by Mark Landers. Still a bit of cheering following that decision, but it's going to be a line ball for Mark Landers. Another switch in the Cork half-forward line this time. Kieran Morrison now operating at centre half-forward. Fergal McCormack is over at left half-forward, and that, I think, a tribute to the success of Kieran Carey. Here's Kieran Carey. Man who got that wonderful point against Clare to end their dreams of retaining their Munster title back in 1996. This time it's Steve McDonough staying back. Out it comes towards Fergal McCormack, comes off Jack Foley. There's 2 men involved in switches during the first half, and Foley has this one. He's got a man in space as well. Dave Clark down towards Damien Quigley, missed by Fergal Ryan. Quigley's in. Landers chasing back. High challenge there. Referee says you got the advantage, play on. But nothing really came of it. And I think Limerick might well have preferred to have got themselves a free. You can just see the tension of the occasion here. Fans who've been in Limerick at this venue or in the environs of the Gaelic grounds for hours before the start of the match to get the best possible seats. And if you haven't got a seat, to stand